just simply showing frustration and missing that World Cup final. So that will be in the back of his mind, no doubt, Devon Conway. So we're all almost set here. What a brilliant atmosphere for the moment. It looks like the rain's staying away, so that's the good news. We're all set. It's going to be a ripper to kickstart the serious end of this tournament.
Boundary riders for Mitchell Starc to get underway. He's got a regulation third on the boundary, and his backward square is that quite square. Another man on the boundary for the right-handed Finn Allen. Countdown done. All the talking, all the press conferences, everything else over and done with. Time to let the bat and the ball do the talking. Aggression straight away from Finn Allen. That's what we will expect. It's what New Zealand want from him, with the class of Conway and Williamson wrapped around.
A hint of swing in there from Starc. That's what we come to expect with the white ball in particular. One ball in and just showing a mild sign that it just won't be skidding on. It does look like it's a slightly drier surface, which is a bit ironic given the discussion about rain around possibly affecting this game.
Down over, long on, and one bounce for Finn Allen, underway with the boundary.
Wow, that's composure. A young man, tall man, imposing figure, but just stands still. Right from the outset shows you that he's just watching this ball so closely. Wasn't perfect contact, but didn't try to overdo it. Not the best delivery from Starc. We know that he's going to search for those stumps and the pads, so that is the opportunity for an opening batter. As the adjustment gets made, third man up into the circle. There's two out on the leg side now. A squarish fine leg and a deep backward square.
Oh, that's even better. That is even better from Finn Allen. Wow. Goodness me. Thought Starc might have gone to the short ball, but he's gone full again.
I was going to make the comment, the Australians probably don't know much about this young man, but they do now. He didn't quite get the first one perfect, but that is right out of the sweet spot. There's a moment in cricket where you decide to go aerial, and you and only you know you've nailed it, and he had that moment there for a split second. Did Finn Allen? What reply now for Starc? Did he still continue to search full? There's no slip in place now.
Does, but pace off this time. No timing from Finn Allen. Yeah, you mentioned he's kept Martin Guptill out of the side, who has been prolific in white ball cricket for New Zealand for many years. So there has to be some sort of talent. Adrian Holstock, his 45th T20 international, standing at the bowler's end at the moment, and Kumar Dharmasena, one of the best in the business.
More adjustments here again. Starc, it looks like he's made the decision here. He was the one waving the arm, so fine leg up and exactly where that ball has been punished down the ground. Wideish long on. Pressure on Mitchell Starc right from the outset.
Straight this time. How good's the timing? It's good enough for four more for Finn Allen. Starc continuing to go full.
This is class batting. This is the level head of a campaigner that should have much more experience than this young man, but he's just deciding to stay still, trusting the swing of the bat and not blinking. He's almost in a staring competition here with Mitchell Starc. Finn Allen knows how potent Starc can be with that new ball, searching in full, but he's holding the composure here.
Short this time and pace off as well. It's past Finn Allen. End of the most expensive opening over of a match by an Australian bowler, 14 without loss.
I guess as a bowler, you know you've still got a chance to have an impact later in the game, haven't you? And Starc is so venomous at the top and tail of the innings. But he's under pressure, as is Aaron Finch, to work out how to stem this flow. Beautiful sporting precinct here. The showgrounds, the old showgrounds to the left, and there's that iconic pavilion.
this whole area is magnificent, isn't it? The new stadium right behind us as well, hosting football and rugby league. Josh Hazlewood, #1 ranked T20 bowler in the world. Some might not have believed that 18 months to 2 years ago, when at times he struggled in T20 cricket, but a month and a half to 2 months under the tutelage of Stephen Fleming and MS Dhoni, and all of a sudden he pops out the other side as one of the best in the business. Conway on strike.
That is not the start Hazlewood would have wanted, particularly Aaron Finch. No, that's a lovely touch. Off to a flyer. How entertaining is this from New Zealand? Uninhibited stroke play in the first over, and just capitalising on a loose delivery by Hazlewood standards to the left-hander there. Uses the pace. Three fours and a six in the opening 7 deliveries.
Oh, there's someone walking down in front of the sight screen just down in front of us here, so it was very late to pull out. It was Devon Conway. Hazlewood was a long way into that delivery stride almost.
And the crowd, the Australian parochial crowd, have taken the opportunity to vent some of their frustration at what they've seen out in the middle on one unsuspecting official down there. But yeah, Hazlewood, you're right about Hazlewood. He is so good. The only quick bowler, the only non-spinner in the top 10 in the rankings in this format. And that's class batting there as well. Partnership batting. Did the damage Hazlewood in the final, didn't he? 3 for 16. He's miserly over there in Dubai. And he's generally followed up since then.
Yeah, he was superb throughout that tournament. I thought between Hazlewood and Zampa, they were the two biggest keys for Australia with the ball. They were both absolutely superb. Conway, 54 runs for 1,000. He'd love to bring that up. And Adam Zampa, 2 wickets for 250 T20 wickets. He has such a crucial role to play in this Australian side, does the leg spinner. So deep square leg in place for Hazlewood to Finn Allen. That is the big boundary into the wind out there as well. And then a wide-ish third just on the boundary as well. Falls this time, and he might pick up a couple. Call is no. Maybe rightly so. It's the one change for Australia from that final last year. Adam Gilchrist, and that change being Steve Smith out. And of course, the hard-hitting potential superstar in Tim David into the side. 4 changes from New Zealand's team from that ICC Men's T20 World Cup final last year in the UAE. Martin Guptill, Daryl Mitchell, Tim Seifert and Adam Milne all out of the New Zealand side. Oh, Conway advances and drives on the up. He'll pick up 4 as well, so he's getting into the action.
And the drop of the head from Josh Hazlewood there. As soon as that impact was made, the big fella, I think, a bit stunned. And this is what, I just wonder if more batters in the top order are going to be prepared to do exactly this to Hazlewood in this tournament. Try to get inside his head, get into his lengths. Typically, if you're forward defending that, it's hitting you probably on the splice, the stickers of the bat. He bowls what we call a heavy ball. But if you can get down and stay in control and not try to overdo it and get greedy, there might be a chance to make Hazlewood just reassess. And he's done that straight away by having to come around the wicket, and he's brought a man over from the offside into a shortish mid-wicket.
Yeah, and I know it's not second season syndrome, but I think the way that Hazlewood rushed onto the T20 scene, when he probably wasn't going to be considered prior to the IPL last year, it's now another year of T20 cricket where everybody knows exactly what he's doing. That's a great point you make about batters now. They have to change their game to Josh Hazlewood and try and take him on.
And it comes with risk reward, that old saying. But the way Conway played that, as Finn Allen has, he didn't get greedy. He didn't try to think he has to hit it over the rope, 20 rows back. Just a beautiful punch down the ground. Didn't back away to do it, just advanced into that length.
Oh, advancing this time, Finn Allen has crunched that through extra cover and away to the boundary for 4 more. New Zealand off to a flyer after 2:29 without loss.
Behind every cricketer is a dream to play for their country, win and inspire, to support loved ones and make their dreams come true. You can be the hero this tournament. Download the Remitly app, the fast, secure way to send money home.
Show the world what it means to be a fan at fanatics.co.uk. A collection of officially licensed fan gear. Fanatics.co.uk. Officially licensed everything.
It's the highest score by any team against Australia after the first 2 overs in a T20 World Cup match. So records are plenty at the moment, and it's early days, folks. It is early days. Don't forget that. This can change so quickly in this game. Pat Cummins into the attack. Inside half of the bat from Conway, just the one.
I think on reflection, Mitchell Starc will be a bit disappointed that he continued to go full in the first over, but this is outstanding batting, the way they've played their hand early, New Zealand, to Hazelwood. Get into that length, keep the momentum going forward, so you're not backing away. Quite often now in T20 cricket we see opening batters backing to the leg side to create too much room, and oh dear, look out there. That is a somewhat of a reunion for anyone in men's cricket in Australia that has played in a winning World Cup team. Big Tom Moody at the back, Darren Lehman in the foreground, Michael Bevan, wow, gee.
Oh, burst through the hands. Adam Zampa had an opportunity, would have been a terrific catch. It was high above his head. Finn Allen will pick up another boundary off what he indicates is a slower ball from Pat Cummins.
Yeah, it was 10, 15 kilometres per hour slower from Pat Cummins. Adam Zampa just deceived. There was a one-handed stroke in the end. Just runs the fingers down the inside of the ball as Pat Cummins. I do think it's probably one he'll feel like he should have taken.
Over long off this time. Finn Allen on the charge with 4 more.
Spoke about an early opportunity for New Zealand to avenge that loss 11 months ago. Perhaps they've been thinking about this for almost every waking hour since then, but New Zealand selectors, congratulations. To this point, you do say, Dooley, it's still early, 2.3 overs in, but whatever happens from here, the impact this young man has had is mighty.
Get it through this time. Yeah, it's been a shame Watson prior to the game. The reason I think they've gone for Finn Allen ahead of Martin Guptill is as Guptill's career has gone longer, probably hasn't been as aggressive as they would want in T20 cricket. He's still a terrific white ball player, don't get me wrong, but what they're looking with Finn Allen kind of makes up for Conway and for Williamson, who are more touch players. So if he doesn't have to get 80s and 90s, but if he gets 35, 40 and 10 to 12, 15 balls, New Zealand are underway, and then those touch players can shine. And he just continues downwind for 6 more. Cummins goes short, and Finn Allen says, I'll have some of that.
This is impressive. This is high class, world class at the moment. 33 off 12 balls. It's all been about the full delivery, but he's shown there. Again, how closely he's prepared to watch this ball. Cummins decides to check upstairs. It is the shorter boundary, but he's still got enough of it to well and truly clear the fielder. Partnership 44 already. We're just in the 3rd over.
In the gap this time, and it'll be a chase. Outfield not lightning fast because of all the weather that has been around. So just a couple to finish off the 3rd over, and New Zealand 46 without loss.
There's a feed on offer. Mark Warsneveley far away from it, and he's just keeping himself in all readiness and for what might be a long night ahead there. in that players' reunion.
He was paying $1 to have a plate of food as well, that man.
Somewhat stunned home Australian crowd. Of course, it's a World Cup. We're going to have supporters from all around the cricketing globe coming out here to be a part of these great occasions. I'm told it's a sellout here in Sydney. That's the head-to-head battle there. Significant advantage. Australia dominant over New Zealand in this format, going all the way back to Eden Park, where it was almost a retro outfit that both teams took the field in. I was part of that, but I'm thrilled to be a part of this today. This has been wonderful batting from New Zealand, to the point where it's, you can see Aaron Finch bring one of his all-rounders into action probably a little bit earlier than he would have hoped. If you have just joined us, you have missed some wonderful stroke play. Finn Allen, a young man who thought was going to be possibly daunted by what faced him, but he's come out and dominated.
Conway on the drive for what should be a couple to that big boundary, and it is. Yeah, you look at the Stark 14, Hazelwood 15, Cummins 17 off their first overs, and Finch has had to ring the changes and get Stoinis into the attack.
Let's see what happens in the next 5 balls of Stoinis' first over, but perhaps Adam Zampa over. Or Glenn Maxwell is typically the spinner he'll go to in the power play, Aaron Finch, just to see if there's a little bit of grip in this dryish surface.
There's something on that. There's something on that, I thought, but
yeah, well, cover has come running in. I think that's Glenn Maxwell at cover. He was certain. He was really keen. He's turned and almost pleading with Aaron Finch.
Clipped the front of the grill, maybe.
It might have been the peak of the helmet there. I think it was clearly above glove high and forearm high.
One thing about Marcus Stoinis, he does have a good bouncer. It's a little bit slipperier than you think. Straight away, I think he wants some remedy work done with the footholes. Some sawdust or something required for Marcus Stoinis. There it is, the old bowler's favourite.
The point you made about Finn Allen, that 35 off 13 balls, it does not matter. He has done his job. Everything from here on for him is just an added bonus for New Zealand and for him personally. But there's scenes from pre-game. So often, so much focus on the pitch. There was a lot of focus on the weather, but it's holding true at the moment. Visualisation, the players get out there and so protective. It's hard to get anywhere near that pitch, isn't it? In any pitch around, in any game these days, but great to see. All nations will be so well represented. Magic scenes down in Hobart yesterday, both when Ireland secured their spot in Zimbabwe. Well, it was just a dance-a-thon, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic, wasn't it? Great to see those sides coming through into the Super 12. Underedge off a slower ball. Talking about the size of the ground. Long down the ground, 60 metres away to the Bill O'Reilly stand, which is leg side for Devon Conway at the moment, but 71 out towards the ladies and the pavilion. Underedge off a slower ball.
It's been a few minutes, a little lull in the momentum for New Zealand with that stoppage for the sawdust to come out. So again, big decisions here for Finn Allen, just to see if he can maintain that composure. Good to see his batting partner coming down and just having a word. Just analysing what Stoinis has done to this in this over to this point. 2 out on the leg side, so that the longer boundary of the 2 for the right-hander on strike. So coverage Just don't want to give any width outside off stump. There's no protection out in the deep. He's had a tendency to come down the pitch. He's been keen. Not surprised if he advances at Stoinis.
He's spot on. Adam Gilchrist and goes bang downtown straight towards us. 50 comes up with that 6 to Finn Allen.
It was just a shuffle, wasn't it? Just a little shimmy down the pitch. Bit of pace off from Stoinis, but it just stepped right into the office for Finn Allen. What a strike. So very impressed with this young man. His first audition on the global stage, really. And he's turning it on. No matter how big the boundary is, generally if you hit it like that, it's going to go.
Well, a pinch one now. I think if Stoinis had got a hold of that, someone, either Conway or Allen, could have been in trouble. 4 overs gone. Don't adjust your sets. It is 56 without loss.
Fashion is a dream maker. It's a dream. The illusion. Run by tycoons.
You've got to love the industry or it will kill you.
They're not brave like you. They're too scared to do anything that's different. You do what you want.
Got the cake for Chelsea.
Don't miss double the action of the Women's Super League.
It's only live once.
As the inspiration continues this weekend. Live on Sky Sports.
So a man who was so miserly normally, he's been given a bit of treatment in his opening over. Hazelwood, he went for 15. He's bowling the man that inflicted most of that pain. Finn Allen on strike. There's a sweeper on both sides, square of the wicket.
Bowled him straight through, gets a Yorker right. Does Hazelwood. That is the breakthrough Australia needed. And the end of Finn Allen.
Relief for the home team, and look how much it means to them. They were panicking. They were concerned. They needed to produce something just to rein this in, and it's a beautifully executed Yorker. Again, trying to get down into the length. That's the match plan. It's worked perfectly to this point. But credit to quality. The number 1 ranked bowler in this format gets it done through his captain, New Zealand, after a wonderful start. Finn Allen goes for 42. 56 for 1.
Stop. Black Adam is much too powerful for this small screen. The action, the thrills, those big super muscles. It's made for the big screen. Get 2-for-1 cinema tickets when you switch car insurance to compares about it.
The tunnel. The final moment before greatness. Are they all ready to take it?
New Zealand skipper Kane Williamson has joined Devon Conway in the middle. Average 32, strike rate just 123. So struggled for the most part of late. Just found a little bit of form in the last warm-up match that New Zealand played.
A little hold up there. You can see the flicker in that electronic sight screen. As soon as the captain walked out there, he went straight to the umpires and he picked up on it. But this is a fine bit of skill. Courageous from Hazelwood to go full. He's seen what Mitchell Starc was met with when he went full, but that's a nice way to counter the opposition's plan. It was obvious both Conway and Allen were keen to get down into that length more than the line of Josh Hazelwood, and a nice adjustment from the big Aussie quick. But well done, young man. What a statement to your opposition and to the world. You've set it up beautifully for your team.
still having trouble with that screen. I don't think it's what brought about the dismissal of Finn Allen. It was just a brilliant piece of bowling, but I'm guessing just certain players just see things that others don't. Because it's been flickering away for quite some time, but Finn Allen didn't notice it. Kane Williams
being brought, an extra fielder being brought into the circle at the end of the innings can be costly, so they'll take all that into account. But it's a shame. This game had a real nice momentum to it, had a good feel, and it's been all one-way traffic up until that last delivery.
And this is it. It's what we talk about. The length, you think about the boundaries that Finn Allen has been hitting. Josh Hazelwood comes back to talk about the Yorker length, getting underneath the